What's up, guys? You hear me now, I'd assume. It says the video resolution is not... What's that even mean? What the fuck does this even mean? Hold on a second. Okay. All right. What's up, Abby? Is that you there again? I can't tell if this is from... I can't tell if this is the stuff from the old chat or from the new chat. What on earth is happening here? Sorry, guys. I just realized that I was live for 45 minutes without audio, and yeah, so that just happened. Okay, Abby, cool, sweet. So yeah, I just realized that I was live the entire time without audio. Yeah, discard changes, sure. Yeah, realized that I was live the entire time without audio, and I appreciate you giving me the heads up on that, Abby. I would not have known had you not said anything. So here's what I'm gonna do. I know that this will not be the most ideal situation, but what I'm gonna do? Why would this not scrolling? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play back the lost content from the first 45 minutes of this talk. Without or with the other screen, basically. And we'll finish up at the end with the resolution. Is that the right fucking thing to say? Am I just talking like an idiot here? I know I am. And I'll just finish up at the end live. Period. So yes, if anybody has any questions about that, I'm just going to be doing this with the other screen settings. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over and just play back the other stuff. And I'll still be keeping an eye on the chat. So if anything in the chat interesting comes up, I'll be able to respond to that for the most part. So yeah, there's that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip back over and start replaying this audio so that I can at least do this in one block. And I'm going to delete the other video so that the good people of the YouTube world doesn't have to bore themselves with that. All right, here we go. So, yes, as I have already mentioned, this is a solo talk. We're going to have a guest, but ended up not working out. I'll explain... I've said this in a couple of YouTube videos, so if you're watching on the YouTube and you are a regular viewer on the channel, then you've probably heard this story before, but I haven't mentioned on the podcast yet because it happened since the last time I released an episode. Also, yes, before I go any further, I have been releasing the old Sunset Grill episodes on the channel, so be sure to check out the YouTube video. There's links in the comment section of all the YouTube videos, and there's also links to all of the pages at the top of inmystuffpodcast.com, and there's a donation link on the side of side page of mistuffpodcast.com and also in the comment section of the YouTube videos. So if you guys want to drop some dollars in the donation box, by all means do that through the GoFundMe link in the YouTube description or the side page of mistuffpodcast.com. Have I said enough yet for you? Is that good? Should I keep going with that? So anyway, you guys know that I played trivia. I announced the other day that in a live video from walking around the Marsh Walk that me and our trivia team would be going to Boathouse to do trivia finals. So we did really shitty in the first half. We ended up going to the second half with like 13 points. And if any of you guys play trivia, you know that's not good. Oh, I got a nice little bump right here. Oh, kids, it never gets better. If you guys are waiting, teenagers out there to get acne, and you're waiting for it, no, I can't wait till I grow up and this gets better and I don't have any bumps on my face anymore. Doesn't get better, kids. Doesn't get better. Sorry. Maybe it does if you take better care of yourself, but I don't do that. Anyway, side note. So we ended up going into the second half with 13 points, and it could have gone better, obviously. And then the second half, we ended up acing the entire second half, the whole thing. Like every question on the second half, we got correct for every point, except for the very last question of the second half, which was only a 1-point question, so it didn't, it didn't really hurt us that much. And then we got the final question, which was so damn easy, and we nailed the final question, and we turned the answer in, thinking, oh shit, we're going to be able to come back next week and compete for $3,000. We're going to be able to come back next week and make some real money on this thing, and we're very excited about that opportunity. Until we heard the description of the question again, where the guy said, we want you to number these or order these things from highest to lowest. And they got us on that because we ordered ours from lowest to highest and just turned it in, because we usually play trivia with Noah Byrne, who you guys know from the podcast, and he was on live with me last night for a very long time on the phone. And I apologize for going live for so long last night. Noah needed to get some shit out, and I wanted to give him a platform to do so. So anyway, Noah always has us order his finals from least to greatest. And that's what kind of screwed us up in this one thing. But it sort of, I think, put all of us in like a funk. And I've gotten to the point, like, I didn't even go to trivia last week, and now it's getting to the point to where, shit, do I even really want to do it? And I guess I will, just to go and support Noah for as long as trivia is going to be going on. So anyway, I'll be doing that again tomorrow night, and tomorrow might be could very well be the last trivia we have of the season. Because whenever people show up and tourists start showing up, when we're trying to have trivia, people will come in that don't know the rules, that'll just be yelling out answers, and it's really shitty whenever somebody yells out an answer, and I'm like, I understand that it's a very simple question, but there are people in the room that didn't know the answer, and now that they know it, like, it could throw off how the game was supposed to end. Speaking of how the game was supposed to end, has anybody been watching basketball? What in the world is going on in college basketball right now? Because I don't know. But anyway, that's I told you that story to explain why I bet that Patrick is just not in the best mood because of how the trivia turned out. And Patrick, if you watch this, I love you, buddy. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just wasn't our day. Didn't fall our way. And we should be able to sleep well knowing that we knew the right order. We had it correct. We got caught on a technicality, man. They got us on a technicality, bro. I'm a lot better at this with strumming a guitar, because when I don't know exactly what to say next, the guitar gives me a little bit of time to figure out, you know, how to put my words together. And I'm sorry also for going live so late tonight. I honestly just was planning on getting through the Braves game, and the Braves lost again. I told Adam Justice the other day, I was like, you can bet on the Phillies for every game in this series, because we're going to get swept. But then we're going to go back home tomorrow, and we're going to sweep the Cubs at home. So I'm calling that we're going to sweep the Cubs at home. If we lose our home season opener, I don't know what to say. I just got back from cookout, and I'm going to be burping up a lot. Forgive me. Also, too, I'm sorry, YouTube. I apologize to YouTube. I played a bunch of songs on a live stream yesterday, and I got a bunch of emails from YouTube saying there were copyright claims against the songs that I played. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to actually physically on guitar play and cover songs on YouTube. Yeah, well, my apologies. My apologies. And oh wow, I have ESPN on, and I just saw that one of the Braves pitchers got ejected. I left the house. I didn't even watch it. I was over it. I was fed up. I went and met old brother Marson at Cookout for a little bit. Had me a little big double and a shake. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. I don't even know what I was just about to say before I started looking at the thing, but if it was important, you guys can press me about it later, and I'll tie up that loose end. Anywho, the thing that when Seth was like, what do you think we should talk about tonight, I said, well, I'm sure we'll figure something out. And then I started watching a video of, who was it? Oh, it was Tony Hinchcliffe on Santino's podcast, Whiskey Ginger. And Whiskey Ginger is a pretty good podcast. If you're into podcasts, Santino's got a pretty good one. And anywho, I was watching that podcast, and they were talking about how people are so quick to like call people out on the internet for doing certain things, and how it's just so easy for people to just call somebody out. And then I started thinking, it really is so easy for people to call somebody out, probably because on the internet you're not the only one calling them out, for one. And two, shit, I'm sorry, my sinuses are draining on me. Two, so many other people have called them out, and you don't really have to look them in the eye when you say these things to them. So I do understand that that's probably having a lot to do with it. But people who call these celebrities or people on the internet out for certain things would not call somebody out in their own life, like in their personal lives, who may do the same exact thing that these people in real life do. For instance, a group of friends are sitting around talking about, yeah, dude, I went out last night and got so fucking wasted, and this other girl, we went home with each other, and she was so wasted, like, I'm sure we don't need one of us to remember anything, but it was fucking great, blah, blah, blah. And like, they don't even say a word to their friend about this, but if, say, Aziz Ansari misreads a situation, the internet wants to rip him apart because of something that they don't even really know anything about. So I wonder why that is. Wonder why. But I know that it's probably because people are just scared of confrontation in their own lives and scared of confrontation in real life, actually. Like 90% of the people who talk shit on Facebook, I guarantee would run away from any kind of actual confrontation in the real world. Does this have something to do with why? Does this have something to do with why everything's so shitty? Because people are just... There's a line I've got in America. It's like feet in mouths and barkers biting. And that's true. Like, barkers are biting now. Like, people who used to just bark, all bark, no bite, are actually biting, but it's not real biting. It's just online. And now in real life, all they're going to do is bark. Good on you for that, for calling people out and to their face. I'm seeing your comments, not my real name. I just wanted to stop and acknowledge that. I'm going to get back to regularly scheduled content. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of the two dogs just barking at each other through the fence like it's the worst thing ever. But then whoever the human is in the situation moves a little doggy fence, and now nobody's saying anything. Everybody's just shutting the fuck up. I don't know why that is. Actually, I do know why that is. People are just scared. Whenever I sent that to Seth, I was like, I figured that this would be a lot better conversation topic than it actually turned out being. Obviously, because there's no one to have the conversation with. And I'm just literally talking to myself. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. I bet old Zion Williamson's going to be talking to himself for a little bit longer. He's not going to be going to the Final Four. I didn't realize that. Okay, so I don't know how the copyright thing works. If anybody from YouTube watches this, I would really like to know the answer to this question. I don't understand how I could get copyright flagged for covering a song. One, I'm not doing these songs in the original key. Two, I am... And honestly, one of the songs that I got flagged in was a song that I wrote. Like, I got flagged for America, the song that I just quoted a while ago about feet in mouths and barkers biting. I ended up getting flagged for that song, and I said, this is the second time it's happened for the same song. And in the dispute that I filed, I was like, I am the lead singer of this. I'm the lead singer of the band for this song. I wrote this song, and Cornbread put it on iTunes as Cornbread. So you absolutely can. You absolutely can tell a lot from. You can tell a lot from having a real conversation. Getting people in front of each other. Let me put my headphones on. People in front of each other can have a conversation about things and get to a better resolution than those over technology, like over a phone or something like that. You lose a lot of the meaning. Like, people get all pissed off over text messages and bullshit like that. You don't know this is what this person meant because you're not in front of them when they say it. So don't freak out over that. Anyway, yeah, wanted to address that. What in the world? That was a little terrifying. Anybody else hear that? But yeah, Cornbread put this song on YouTube. I'm not the one to do that. Or iTunes, rather. Not YouTube. I'm going to smoke a couple too many joints today. Forgive me. Might not make for the best. And I asked Jamie. He was like, yeah, he gets flagged all the time for having music on his page, but that just demonetizes that video. So I've been trying to go around that and get around that whole, like, I don't want to lose monetization for any of my videos. I'm not monetized yet, but I don't want to do anything that will, cause me to not get monetized, I don't want to do anything that could cause me to lose my monetization, or lose my, what is it called, the YouTube partner program or whatever. I don't want to lose any of that. So that's why I try to play stuff that's why I try to play my original songs. But even when I play my original damn songs, man, and come after me and come get me. What can you do? Anywho, I guess what I was really trying to get across earlier in talking about people who are just so quick to say anything they want to say online and talk to other people a certain way on the internet, and all this other negativity that they have going on in their lives that they want to spill over into the internet and let spill into other people's lives, then why don't they just get real with other people? And I appreciate that, Abby. Thank you. Be honest with the people in their lives that could be doing the very thing that they are bitching about some celebrity about. Also, I think this is just the way my face looks. I don't know if maybe I look pained. I may be a little ill about this still, but I appreciate you guys hanging out still. Yet, they won't do that because that makes their life inconvenient. It's convenient for you to just be able to... It's convenient for you to... Como se dice? It's convenient for you to just sit down at your computer and say really shitty things to somebody that you don't have to look at, that you think will change their life. And here's another hanger on that. Are these people actually saying that thing because they think it will change somebody's life for the better, or are they just saying this thing because they have to let somebody else know that they disagree with their opinion? Like, how does this work? I don't know the rules. Do you disagree with somebody's opinion and you have to let them know that you disagree with their opinion? Or do you disagree with their opinion and you want to try to bring them into the light or convince them to think differently, to make them a better person in your own mind or in your own eyes? And then again, is it them that needs to become the better person or you? There's you a thought. Today marks 6 years that my granny, old Mabel Wilkes Hudgens, went to be with the Lord. I grew up with my grandparents. I got to live with my grandparents. I even said this on a little talk yesterday with Noah. I called my grandmother Mama for the longest time. And I thought that she was my mom. That my dad and my uncle called her Mama. All my aunts, they all called her Mama, so I called her what they did. When I was a kid, I thought that was her name. So, I slept in the bed with them I slept in the bed with my grandparents till I was probably 8 or 9. I was too old to be sleeping in bed with my grandparents, but I did. I slept with them every night. And I was getting to be a big kid, and it was just dumb to have me sleeping in the bed with them. And I finally ended up sleeping in my own bed. But right now, the bed that I sleep in, and I've said this before, the bed that I sleep in has the headboard from that bed, and I have body pillows, stacks of body pillows on either side of me, because that's how I can sleep comfortably. It's I don't know why I've always done that, because some of the best sleep I can remember getting was between those two, between my grandmother and my granddad when I was a kid. So I try to recreate that. They say that people that sleep with a lot of pillows are drastic signs of depression, and I don't know if I agree with that, because I've always done it. I guess I've always had depression. Maybe it is. Who knows? I don't really fucking know. I know I'm not really sad right now. I'm just sick of bills that keep coming in and not having the dollars to fund them. And I used to say it was a lot easier to be broke when you're at least paying for it's a lot easier to be broke when you're at least paying for things that you need rather than things that you want, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I just having the bills that I've got are things that I actually fucking need and I have to have. And I used to not mind being broke just because because I'm being an adult. I'm paying for these things now that I actually need. I'm not spending the money on drugs or just going to Walmart and dropping $100 every time I walk in the door. Like, I'm not doing that every night now like I used to. So I felt like, okay, I got this thing figured out now. But still, when you've got your bank account set up to automatic draft your damn health insurance, and this mattress that I put down on this headboard that used to belong to my grandparents, this brand new mattress that I got a couple months ago, and this brand new computer that I'm recording this podcast on right now. It's nice to have these nice things. Really nice to have these nice things, but damn, man, just whenever you get hit with $600 worth, over $700 worth of bills on top of your your normal living expenses, when my only source of income is music until we can find a way to monetize the podcast properly. But it's really shitty. It's really shitty to think that I used to get this feeling like this not depression, just anxiety, extra anxiety, just from financial anxiety. I used to get this whenever I was coming off of the last season, which is somewhere around November. And I've said before in the podcast that I'm really stoked that these feelings didn't come around until March. I made it all the way through, November, December, January, February, and I just now recently got caught up for all of last month's negative shit. But just as soon as you get everything brought back to even from last month, all of the same things that got you negative last month hit your account again this month, and now it's like, okay, so you didn't have enough dollars in your account to cover your insurance or the mattress or the computer payment, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and pay these for you. So you owe us back this amount of money plus the basically $100 that, and I know I'm complaining. Just let me complain. You can cut it off if you're sick of hearing. I apologize. It's what I do. So now you owe the $100 in overdraft charges on top of all the other dollars that you already didn't have. And I realize this is the whole shit, I really should have thought about this a little more. I really should have, taken into account that just because on the day that I went and got the mattress, or on the day that I went and got the computer, that I might have had the sufficient funds to be able to take care of all of these things. But there are other things that come into account, and I had a hard time thinking about all the other expenses that I would have, and I didn't properly prepare for it, which is my problem. It's my fault, but at least I know now for the future not to bite off more than I can chew, which I used to do that with drugs. I used to take all of my money I used to take all my money and just put it on the drugs, because at least when you're doing drugs, you don't really care about what you owe money to. You don't really care about anything else except being fucked up. But now that you're actually paying for other things, and it's like, shit, these bills just keep on coming, man. This adulthood is not very fun. It's not like we thought it was gonna be. I wonder what we do. The best that I can figure out is that I just keep doing this thing. I keep pressing record on this computer, and I keep talking into this thing, and whenever this number 120 episode becomes episode number... You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Not my real name. That's all they want is to keep us right where they want us. And once we all realize that there's more power in our numbers than in them, they had better fucking run. 420, no pun intended, seriously, just whenever this episode becomes number 420 or number 620 or number 1020 or number 2200, whenever it becomes these numbers, hopefully I won't be as stressed as I am right now, and hopefully then on that day when I do episode number 420 or episode number whatever, I'll be able to look back on this time and laugh and say, damn, I'm really glad that I don't have that kind of anxiety anymore. Because financial anxiety is the worst. But also, we have to pay $50 again in the next few days to Podomatic to keep the Podomatic account current so that we can continue to upload stuff, because we're already over the limit for the next tier down that we were on, that'll be dropped back to if there's we can't get that taken care of. Brother Rick Thomas actually took care of the last month for us in the GoFundMe account. So yes, and I want to make sure to let you guys know 100% that any dollars that you drop into the GoFundMe account does go towards the podcast. That does not go towards me or bills or anything in my life that I'm complaining about right now. And like, for instance, I'm not going to rob money away from the podcast, brother. My brother Kerry dropped a pretty decent. Ooh, I keep seeing the replay on ESPN of this guy hitting him, and he's apologizing to him. Like, I'm fucking sorry, but yeah, brother Kerry dropped a pretty sizable donation into the GoFundMe as to basically call the studios Screwball Whiskey Studios, which we are live from Screwball Whiskey Studios. I should always say that at the beginning. I'm not the best at this thing, and I'll get better. And I'm trying to fuck around with graphics in the beginning of the... I want to get an actual moving graphic that I can put at the beginning of the video when I go live on YouTube. I just want to make this thing a better experience for you guys. I just really want to make this a better... I want to make this a better experience for you guys. I understand these things are kind of boring every now and again just because I'll be rambling about something, and that's probably the case right now, and I apologize for that. But I have to be real. I have to be honest. That's all I've got. I think that's all anybody's got. I'll be a dickhead too to people who will even just tell little small stories to make conversation. I've done it to a very close friend of mine for a very long time, and I realize that it doesn't matter. They can say whatever they want to do. They can embellish and tell these stories however they want to tell them. They can be Edward Bloom if they want to. And for those not familiar with Edward Bloom, you should watch Big Fish. who's a guy that just embellished every single story. Like he told great stories, but he just embellished them so much that like the stories couldn't be true, but they were so much fun to listen to, I guess, that it just made the lie was more fun to listen to than the truth. But yeah, I'm very, very difficult on people just who tell lies, because it literally might just be a little bit of embellishment on a story to make the story more fun to listen to, but that doesn't matter to me. That to me, that just sounds like a lie, you know? I weigh it all the same way. Like, I weigh it all the same way. Like, it doesn't matter to me whether or not it's like, oh, but wouldn't you really rather hear an elaborate story about a fish or your father being off in Wichita on business? You know, it's like Billy Crudup in Big Fish said, I kind of like your story better when the doctor told him about the real story whenever he left, you know, whenever his dad wasn't around. But anyway, yeah, what in the world? I don't know. People are just funny. I can't help but be honest. I can't help but be honest. I can't help but do that. My dad once, there was some bad shit that went down when I was a kid, and my dad was explaining to my grandparents, like, you don't have to like ask him. He'll tell you he'll tell you because he can't help it. He can't help but tell the truth. And that, like, my dad was, he was like, he'll come around, like he'll say whatever he needs to say to keep him from getting out of trouble for a little while, but it'll eat him up inside, and he can't help but tell the truth. And that's what conditioned me to be this way, is knowing that I just couldn't, hearing my dad say that about me, and like knowing that he believed that about me because I was like him, made me that way, to where that I really couldn't stand to keep, if I were to lie about something, I couldn't stand to, like, it would tear me up on the inside. I couldn't stand that people wouldn't know, or would think less of me, or would think something, would think less of me, or that thought just really fucked with me, or that I could be found out to be fake. That's one thing I've always hated. I've never wanted to be fake, even though I lived through characters and shit. I've never wanted to be fake. Even those characters that I quote unquote lived through are very real. They're very, very strewn with pieces of me, and they're like, I've only removed the pieces of me that are, you know, unattractive mentally, or you know, like unattractive emotionally, and things like that. I've removed all of those things in those characters, so they're still me. They're just missing like the less necessary parts of being a good person. But even that, those is very real, and I try to stay as real as I possibly can. 'Cause I get sick of seeing once I see a fake person, I can't unsee them. I can't unsee that they're fake. I can't, like, my mind won't let me forget that. Once I see that, oh, so you're full of shit, then this person is always full of shit in my mind. And there's certain things that this person could say that would lead me to believe that, okay, maybe they do know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, maybe they do know what the fuck they're talking about. Maybe they do know something about this thing right here. But then you'll hear them get to the point in that story, and then that story will sound just like every other story you've ever heard, because they've told you all the facts, they've told you all the things that you need to know, and now there's other little itty-bitty things that come along with that story to validate that what they just told you is true. And then you start to hear it, and it just sounds like it might not be a lie, but it's definitely packaged as one. Like all other lies, they start off and sound just like this, dog. Look, that's not my life. But I do encourage, even though it's not my life, I do encourage anybody that might hear this, just tell the truth. Just be honest. Because the truth can't stay hid. The truth will come out somehow. And if you tell a lie, you're going to have to continue to tell that lie. You're going to have to continue to keep up that charade over and over. You're going to have to always tell that lie. If you tell it once, you'll have to continue to tell that lie forever. And unfortunately, a lot of liars have really bad memories. Excuse me. A lot of liars have really bad memories, and they can't remember whether or not they told you this thing or that thing. So that fucks up their whole their whole reputation or views of what. And people can say all they want to. Oh, well, I don't really give a shit what people think about me. I know who I am. Yeah, I know you know who you are, but after you're gone, all you've really got left is what people say about you. And everybody's like, oh no, well, I might have kids. That might be my legacy. It won't be what people say about me. But yeah, your kids are gonna say the same things about you. And they might not see the kind of thing that, and I'm saying this from a viewpoint from a child who has seen, like my mom always told me I would never lie to you. You know, I would never say anything to hurt you. I would never lie to you. I'd never do anything wrong. I would never do anything that would hurt you. I could never, blah, 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 never, I would never do this. And she did all of those things. And now I can't unsee that. And I don't want anything to do with her. And I don't have anything to do with her, nor do I care to ever. And I say that because I don't think that people are weighing in, are fully weighing in the ramifications of these actions, of these things that they do to other people, things they say to other people. Like, you don't understand, man. This is like how people talk about you after you're gone. Your children, your family, your friends, how people refer to you after you're gone is all that you've got. That's really all that you've got. What you leave behind in the world. Because case in fucking point. And I know that this is a far out analogy, but Michael Jackson left an amazing body of work, an amazing body of music. One of the most successful bodies of work in music history belongs to Michael Jackson. But guess what? Now we're talking about Michael Jackson raped kids and things like that, and that's how we're going to remember, because all that people are going to remember after you're gone is what people say about you, not necessarily the work that you leave behind. Oh, well, I know who I am, and that's good enough for me. Is it? Is that good enough for you? For me, that's not good enough. For me, I want to leave behind unequivocal. Is it unequivocal or unequivocal? In or unequivocal doubt that I am the person who, you know, I don't even want that. I just want to live my life in a way that where people who come after me can tell my testimony for me. They can tell my story for me. I don't have to tell that story. I can just repeat the facts. I can state facts. I can state facts about things about my life. But I want other people to tell the stories, because those are legends. People who get too involved in telling stories about themselves. And by the way, there's one person who probably thinks this is about them, and it's not, dude. Trust me, I know you think this is about you, but it's not. Just And ironically, there's actually a few people who think this is about them. It's not about y'all, even though you're all Leos. Forgive me. You know who you are. What's going on, Abby? How's it going in there? I just see the chat. No audio. Have I literally been talking this entire time with no audio? Oh, man. Are you serious? I think that's probably a safe place to pick back up. I didn't really say anything after that was too out of the ordinary. Or not out of the ordinary, but I got really furious after that, and I know I could have easily fixed it by just doing what I did now, or what I'm doing now rather, and just play back the part that you guys missed. So basically, the point that I'm getting at in saying that, yes, there are a few people who probably think that those things that I just said and those things that I was just talking about was about them. They're not all about you. They're not all about the several people who might think that these things are about them, who very well could listen to this podcast. And ironically, I think that the people who could potentially think that this is about them are all Leos, and one of the main traits of a Leo is thinking that everything is about them. And anywho, so where were we? Yes, I know that it was a very outlandish comparison to make between somebody, and by the way, that was a pretty seamless transition, I think we're safe to say. Pretty seamless transition there. But anyway, excuse me. Michael Jackson's body of work that he left behind was great. Absolutely phenomenal body of work. And now we remember him as being the man who raped children, and he will probably be remembered as such. Even though it's only a couple of people who are saying this, and a couple people that are telling the story, that's enough. If that doesn't validate my theory that people will not necessarily, and I know there's a quote that people will never remember what you said or never remember what you did. They'll always remember how they made you feel. And that's a very true thing. People won't remember what you said. They'll only remember how you made them feel. So you have to make sure that you leave the right thing. You have to make sure that you don't just cover your ass and try to make people have a good time and feel good and tell them all these stories and things and try to quote unquote add to their fucking experience on this earth by telling them something that's not necessarily true but entertaining. So I just don't think that that's fair to them. I don't think that's fair to the people around you. I just don't think that it's... And as me and Abby were talking a while ago in the chat, like having a really hard time with holding back thoughts. Like if you think something, it's better to... And I know that I'm a person who has a really hard time holding back my thoughts. Like I have a very, very, very hard time not getting out my opinion, or not getting out the things that are in my head. So knowing that I couldn't change knowing that I couldn't change the fact that I was going to say what I had on my mind, or I was going to say what I was thinking no matter what, forced me to change the way that I thought and change my thinking patterns and change the things that I fill up my brain with, or change that. So yeah, that's pretty much the point that I guess I was trying to make right there, is just make sure that whatever you leave behind is going to be something that whenever they retell your story, whenever they're retelling the story of you, that they don't have to make up, they don't have to lie. Make sure that live your life so that they can tell the truth when you get to the end. You won't have to lie. Like, what is the old country song? Live your life so that the preacher don't have to lie. I don't know why I thought about that. I guess it all stemmed from me me thinking that people were being dishonest by saying things on Facebook that they're not willing to put into action in their lives. Or like, excuse me, or getting into arguments on Facebook or on the, not necessarily Facebook, but just getting into arguments on the internet with people about things that they feel strongly about, but then they could see someone in their regular life and just not really give a shit that these people are doing this thing that they shouldn't do. And well, not necessarily they shouldn't do, but something that they don't agree with. Like, if you don't agree with it online, then also don't agree with it when you're in front of your friends. Like, don't give your friends a pass just because they're your friends. Like, I mean, I'm not using myself like saying be more like me or using myself as an example, but I have very close friends that just don't. I have very close friends that just don't. That don't do things that I would do in my life, and I'm not vocal at all about telling them I would not do that in my own life. Understanding that they are not, I'm not living their life for them, or they're not meant to live my life or live a life or the same as mine. Understanding all of that, I still can't go on without them knowing that I do this thing differently. I have a lot of people come up to me and say, "Hey, I've noticed some changes in your life. Would you mind telling me about these changes that you've made?" And I have no problem talking to people about that stuff. So I should have restarted recording on the audio at that point, and I forgot to do that. Yeah, totally forgot to start re-recording the audio just now. I just for YouTube folks, you can't see the screen. I just started recording again. But yeah, basically, I was just you guys can go to the YouTube channel at about I would say the 43 minute mark, 42 or 3 minute mark, and check out the little in between part that you missed. And if you exclusively listen to audio, then I definitely invite you to check out the YouTube page, and vice versa. If you exclusively watch the YouTube page, I invite you to check out the audio. And all the links to everything are in the description of this video right now. So, yeah, check out the audio. And I actually had a conversation with Smitty the other night where he was like, "You should really do this on your channel," and I was kind of like trying to let him know, like, I hear what you're saying. You've said several times to do the same thing, like upgrading like graphics and stuff like that, and make it more pleasing for people to watch. And I'm like, I always have told the people, if they want something that's like cut and edited and all pretty and done up nice with a nice bow on it, then I invite them to listen to the audio. Because that's where I do an intro at the beginning. Like all the stuff that you guys see me do in the YouTube at the very end, all the intro that goes at the beginning, like everything is in order. There's intro music. There's like, it sounds like a real podcast. Obviously the YouTube started for me to give people like an idea of what I do behind the scenes, like how everything else goes other than just the podcast, how everything else turns out. And, those end up going really, really well. Authenticity, absolutely, Abby. Authenticity, 100%. But yes, I've just gotten to the point. Excuse me, I don't know what's up. Got some cheer wine, some cookout cheer wine stuck in my throat. But he understood by the end of the conversation that I was like really just saying, "Hey man, I'm doing this my way." I've always let the YouTube show like the behind the scenes stuff of how I sort of do everything and do the audio and do the trimming and all that other bullshit. And that I had stopped revealing as much. Like I pretty much, I didn't ever want to get to the point, and I love the listeners, I love the viewers, I love you guys, but I never want to get to the point to where I am doing something just because I think you guys want me to do it or to add to your guys' experience, because as this is 100% to entertain you folks, it is also very much a way for me to vent my own life experiences and have conversations with people that I really want to talk to, that I just can't convince myself to leave my house to do so, and I end up conning them into. What in the world was that? Did y'all hear that? A couple of loud bangs and something fell. Bet you fucking heard that, huh? But yeah, I end up like wanting to leave, like get my. Y'all hearing this shit, right? That's exactly what I was getting at, Abby, is that the fact that I do this thing the way that I've done it and have gotten the response that I've already gotten leads me to believe that you guys sort of enjoy watching me be me, like me be myself, and this is sort of what I am. You hear that, Abby? All the slamming doors and whatnot. Right? I live by myself, just so you guys know. That's coming from the next door there. It's not an abnormal thing. But anyway, the whole fact of the matter is that this podcast is therapeutic for me. It's some way to me to get things off of my chest that really bother me, and things that would normally, how do I say? Things that would normally just that people would sweep under the rug, you know, and just try to be like, yeah, I don't really want this in my life. I don't want this to cloud who I am. I don't want anything to do with this. Just having people feel that way, I guess you would say. Having people feel that way about things that bother them and just keeping them inside. They don't want to show anybody this. They're so, just like you were saying a while ago, Abby, that people will confide in you and tell you something, you know, secretive about themselves or something precious to them. And then they just sort of get embarrassed that now you know this deep dark secret about them, so then they kind of distance themselves in their own special way, or they distance themselves in their own particular way, and that is 100% something that I've experienced, because people are not as in love with their truth as I am, and I have a hard time believing that. Or not believing that. I just have a hard time accepting that. I have a hard time accepting that people are okay with their truth, because there are and this is there's a person that will hear this that will think this is about them. It probably is about you, and this is not a bad thing. But there are people who oversell themselves. They oversell themselves, and I'm like, dude, you're cool enough already. Like you're cool. Like you're a cool person. I enjoy being around you as a person. You don't have to like sell me on you. You don't have to tell me all these cool stories about things that you did or experiences that you had. Like you don't have to sell me on yourself. Like you're cool. You're cool enough to me to hang out with. I don't mind hanging out with you and being your friend. But you don't have to sell me on you all the time. You don't have to make me believe that you're worth being that you're worth me being your friend, and you're worth me giving you my time. I'm already willing to do that. I don't need to be sold any of you. And Abby, do you, or anybody out there in the chat at all, do you guys have that situation, that same situation where you'll just be talking with somebody that you're already enjoying hanging out with, but then they just want to, like, every story that you have, they've got something too. They've got almost a one-up. It's almost like, yeah, I've done that too. I got one up on you here because I've done this and this and this and this. And then I'm like, I get it, man. Like, I'm already cool with hanging out with you, and like I'm like, you're a cool person. I don't really need any extra coaxing to be your friend. Like, you don't have to give me any more. You don't have to give me any more of a reason to hang out with you. Like, I've already got enough. You're cool. Don't sell me. Like, if you wanna do that and with other people who you don't know as well as I know you, then do that with them. But like, you don't have to put that on in front of me, you know. That is for who you think it's for. How's it going, diving? Welcome to the machine. Abby, I'm really sorry, by the way. I know I kind of lost it a little bit earlier, and I apologize you had to see that. I've unlisted the other video that I'd posted to start with because I just kind of lost my shit there. I realized that I'd been talking for 45 minutes to nobody at all, and it was just because I didn't have the how many people were watching uploaded, and I didn't notice anything until you mentioned, Abby, that there was no audio. So once I realized that there was no audio and I'd been talking for 45 minutes without any sound, I just kind of lost my shit. Super hard lost my shit for a little bit. And not like super hard lost my shit. Like, I didn't act out in a big way, but on the inside I was fucking losing my mind. But it was an easy fix. I just pulled it off from the first bit of audio that I had recorded, and also that I changed the background a little bit for these videos. You can tell I still have the other one. It's fine, Diving, no worries. Just glad to have you here. And I appreciate you. With the thumbs up and the comments on the other videos. Yeah, sorry about that again, Abby. I was a little ill. It'd been a long day. It was the thing with trivia that I talked about at the beginning happened, and that kind of broke my heart for Patrick, because brother Patrick did nothing wrong, and it just didn't fall our way, and we kind of made a mistake as far as the entire team, not him, and it just broke my heart that he feels bad about this situation, and I wish that he didn't, but I would probably feel equally bad in his situation. But Patrick, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Not you too, Brian. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm watching a video of Duke lose to Michigan State right now. Crazy, crazy day in the college basketball world. Crazy weekend in the college basketball world, as a matter of fact. But I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna play a song. I don't know which one, but I know YouTube, if I do a song on YouTube, just gonna send me an email and tell me that somebody has put a copyright claim on it. I'm not supposed to do it, and I really don't understand that, because at once, as I've said earlier, I'm half a step down. Most bands tune to standard, but I'm a half a step down on this guitar. Plus, I do basically my own version. You guys can probably bear witness to the fact that I kind of do all of the songs that I do like me and not like them. Like, I don't even come close to doing a song like anybody else would do it, unless it's my song, which I've also gotten flagged for. And once again, I don't know if I got to say this earlier, if this was on the video, if the audio was off or not. I don't even know if I was recording audio yet. But YouTube, if anybody out there from YouTube could please get in touch with me and let me know what I can and can't do on these videos, as far as like if I'm not allowed to play other people's songs, then I guess that you're not supposed to take you're not supposed to get monetization for anything like that. Yeah, exactly right. On my own songs, like I try to make all of these songs like my own, basically, and like do them how I would do them. But I don't know, what can you do? What can you do? But just, I guess, continue to do what I'm doing and just see how it falls. But yes, if anybody from YouTube ever watches this and would please get in touch with me, and I know that obviously somebody from YouTube watches this, because of as many times as I've said YouTube in a row in this YouTube video that I'm on broadcasting live on YouTube with, it will probably send some sort of flag that I've said YouTube so many times that somebody from YouTube would have to watch this and see if there was anything that YouTube needed to hear out of this. Yeah, I got in trouble for one of my own songs. I got sent a copyright claim for America that I played on Merle's Inlet Stuff Radio last night, or MI Stuff Radio last night, which is something I think I'm gonna do on the weekends. Like, I'm gonna just like a pirate radio in the middle of the night, just go live and play a bunch of like I'm gonna try to get permission from local bands to play just all local music on the radio, and or basically live music on this thing, and I probably won't be able to. I'll probably get copyright claims from those bands that have their songs on iTunes and Spotify as well. But maybe if I get permission from the actual artist, I can dispute that. But I don't know how that'll work. But it's just an idea as of this point. But yeah, my own song, like America, and this is the second time that they've done that, and I had to send a dispute in to where I was like, this song from CD Baby, Cornbread, America, and I was like, yes, for this song, I am the lead singer of this song. I mean, in Cornbread, me and Smitty both sing. There's not necessarily a lead singer. There is me and Smitty, and we both sing. And that's the best way I can describe it. Like, there's really no lead singer. We both sing. Depending on what song is what answer you would get. So on America, I'm the lead singer for that song, and I wrote that song, and I sent in that twice now, and I was like, dude, yeah, this is just like this is Cornbread. I'm in Cornbread. I wrote the song. You're telling me that I can't do it. You're telling me that I can't play my own music on my YouTube channel. I didn't say it like that. I was actually very kind. I'm not even really that upset about that. It's actually kind of cool that there's somebody out there that's fighting for my music, even though it's me. So it does lead me to believe if they play this song in somebody else's video, that they'll also get the same message that I got. So there's somebody out there fighting for my music, which is great, I think. But I just think it'd be cool to have like just local music, like all the bands that I know, like Connor, who's been on the podcast, Sweet, Jeremy and Corinne, Jeff and Jen Thomas, Cam and Gentry, Austin Perry's got a lot of really good original music. Just so many bands, and I know I'm forgetting some people. Monty and Craig. I know there's a lot of other artists that I'm forgetting, and forgive me for that, but just people that have original music that they wouldn't mind, getting a little bit of play, even if it's just on this little channel that we've got here. But since the first 45 minutes of this was a wash, so I could have been wrapped up around midnight, and we had to go back around and loop back and do the first 45 again, which I'm really glad that I did have, so I could give you guys the first 45 again. I'm gonna do a tune and get out of here, and maybe wash some dishes. I say maybe because there's no telling. I really need to clean my house. My house just feels like a wreck. Somebody else might walk in here and be like, oh, it's not that bad for a guy. But they would definitely say for a guy, because guys just historically have dirty houses, right? And I live by myself. You can definitely tell that by looking around here. The pile of Arby's sauces. Speaking of which, big ups to Arby's today. They came through with all the Arby's sauce. They gave me all of the Arby's sauces that I wished I would have gotten in the past. And I think back, I'm like, you know what? I really would have liked to have this whenever you guys only gave me one that one time and I needed two. Because two is all you really ever need. But I definitely got 6 of them bitches this time. What is going on in my head? What's wrong in the world? I'm not gonna go all through this next part of this in full detail, but I didn't think about it until just now. There was a girl who got killed in Colombia by who she thought was her Uber driver. And my buddy who does camera work for all the news stations, my buddy who does all the stuff for the news stations, camera work, he said he's going up to Columbia tomorrow to cover this story. So as that develops, I will 100% be covering that a little bit more. And that might be a Sunset Grill thing that we could bring Noah Byrne in on, or Jamie actually might be interested in going over that. And me and Jamie are going to be getting together when he's back in town this week. I'm not sure the day yet, but we're definitely going to make that happen for you over the next, I would guess, over the next week. This weekend's pretty busy for me. If you guys are interested in anybody locally who wants to come out this week, Cornbread will be at Bubba's Love Shack, Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk, Thursday night, 7:30 to 11, I think. Yeah, 7:30 to 11, and then the duo, me and Smitty's duo, the Cornbread duo is gonna be at Pine Lakes Tavern, Myrtle Beach, on Friday night from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And then Cornbread is gonna be at Neil and Pam's on Saturday in Surfside from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and rounding off a full 4-gig weekend on Sunday, I will have my first solo in over a month at Wahoo's Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk from 6:30 to 9:30. So if any guys are interested in that stuff, I might end up going live Sunday for the solo gig at Wahoo's, and let you guys see what a solo gig is like. I don't know that I've gone live for a solo gig since I've gained the new followers. So, and once again, about gaining the new followers, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble. I really appreciate y'all. Hit you with a curveball now. Will do, Abby. I actually have a few questions. I noticed that Jamie posts text sometimes. Is that something that's that I'm is that legal in I know it's legal, but I mean, like, you can do that in YouTube. I don't know that I'm very aware of that. I could leave notes on the YouTube channel, but I might talk to Jamie on to see how to do that, because he's literally told me all kinds of things that I didn't know about YouTube that it's like, yeah, man, this is pretty easy. So just do this. And I was like, oh, sweet. I'm not very savvy on that stuff yet, but seeing as how this is the 6-year anniversary of my grandmother going home, I am gonna close with a song that she loved. Not the version that I do. I usually do a dark minor version of it, but I'm gonna do the traditional version of this song. This is my favorite hymn. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. To the old rugged cross, where the dearest stand best, for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, with my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true. Its shame and reproach I'll gladly bear, till they call me someday to my home far away, where its glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the love we share as we tarry there, none other has ever Tempted and tried, we're oft made to wonder why it should be thus all the day long, while there are others living among us, never molested, though in the wrong. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. We'll understand it all by and by. Figured I would do, since it is technically Sunday, in honor of my granny who loved for me to do hymns, do a little bit of that in her memory today. But anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. YouTubers, hang tight. I'm going to do a little intro work here for the audio folks, and if you guys haven't listened to one of the aspects of it, if you haven't listened to watched video, or if you watch video and you haven't listened to audio, I encourage you to do the other thing just once at least. Just give it a shot. Listen to the audio version to just see the difference in the setup of it and the delivery, I guess you could say. Well, the part where the things that I say next will come first. So yeah, for YouTubers, and the things that I have already said will come next for audio people. Wow, did we just like go into the Matrix and find a way into the behind the curtain? Did we just find the wizard behind the curtain? Is that what just happened? Oh well. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. I love you. I mean it. Enjoy the rest of your day. And this is a Sunset Grill sign-off that I'll give you. And as always, don't look behind you. There's something there. Live your entire life like you're being recorded. Like somebody is watching you. And you'll get there. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be good people. I love you. I mean it. Peace, bitches. Hang tight, YouTubers. Still got a little intro to do here. Let's get this done. Hey guys, how you living? Are you doing well? Good. Glad to hear that. So I did a little rambling in this one, and rambled about people not really wanting to say things to people in front of them, but are so quick to say these things online, and all of these other different things. And I got on a really good roll and went down a nice little rabbit hole about all kinds of different things that involve my life, and truth, and telling the truth, and being truthful, and living a truthful life. And I got about 45 minutes in, and I found out through the chat, Abby, one of our YouTubers, let me know that there was no audio going. So I'd been recording for 45 minutes without any audio on the YouTube channel. Thankfully, I had my GarageBand rolling, so I caught all that audio, and just ended up going back to the beginning and playing that all over while on a new YouTube video. So I did have to delete the original video, but we did get all the content, and there was a pretty seamless transfer of when the audio ran out and I realized I wasn't recording on the video, and just to pick back up live at the end. So there's that. Did you get it? Are we all on the same page? Good. Glad to hear that. All on the same page. Good. Glad. All right. So please, if you have it in your heart to help us out at all, go to the GoFundMe link that is on the side page, the Donate Now button on mistuffpodcast.com, or go to any of the pages. YouTube videos have this in the description. The last at least 10 YouTube videos I've posted, I'm pretty sure, have this in the description. The GoFundMe link, if anything you can do to help out, is certainly appreciated. We're about to have to drop another $50 in a few more days to get the second month of our broadcaster plan paid for. The computer payment is due for that. We're recording the podcast on tomorrow, so that's going to be a thing. There's just certain things that we have to pay for, the podcast related, that we're not quite prepared to do right now. So anything you can do to help out, that will be fantastic. So the GoFundMe link is there in all those pages. The Facebook, go and follow us on Twitter at MIStuffPodcast, the number 1. And then on Facebook and Instagram, we are at MIStuffPodcast. And I don't use the Patreon anymore. You're more than welcome to stop by there. I never upload things to it, though, so it would not be worth it to commit anything on Patreon, just because, like I said, I don't upload any content to there, and that's sort of what that's for. So anyway, what else do we got? Please click subscribe on the YouTube page if you haven't already. YouTube's doing a really well right now. I've got a really good following of a few people that I see in just about every video, and I'm very thankful for all of those people. I'm very thankful for all of you for listening. I have been getting a lot of downloads here lately. That means I'm getting a lot of new listeners, and I'm very proud of that, and I thank you guys. Also, I want to take this moment to apologize if you get bombarded with a lot of uploads, like the Sunset Grills that are coming at you, because I'm uploading all of those too. So please forgive me if I'm overloading your podcast app or whatever. Forgive me for that, but I will be uploading more Sunset Grills over the next few weeks. But I uploaded 2 last night, so that means that I won't be uploading anymore for a couple weeks. But over the next few weeks, I will be completing this series. But anyway, without further ado, episode number 120 of In My Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. YouTubers, I love you. I mean it. So glad that you guys are here. Happy April Fool's Day, Abby. Right, yeah, that's what we'll do. Sugar in the salt shaker. Happy April Fool's. I have to say this. My very good friend Halen, who I love dearly and love her family dearly, posted this thing that says that there are women and families who have tried and failed to have children, and people who have been pregnant who have lost children, so that being pregnant or getting pregnant is not an April Fool's joke. There are certain people that might be funny to, but for the select few who have actually gone through not being able to have a child, do not want to see other people making jokes about that. I was not aware of that, but now I am, so I feel it my responsibility to voice that. So anyway, I love you guys. Click all the links that are going to be at the bottom of the page. They're not there right now. They will be by the time a few of you watch them. They're going to be, top of the page rather. A couple of videos I'll be posting, and a subscribe button. Please click the subscribe button. Please click the thumbs up button. Please share the video. Let's further this channel and try to get the good word that we're trying to spread out into the world. Be good people. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. I love you. I mean it. Peace, bitches.